Moving skills is acceptable. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do this. Anybody's ever done it any point in time in history that what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's me. It's hard. It's worth it. I don't know what you want. Seemed like yesterday, but I was a new kid on the block. Now at 68, I'm Hilton. My mother, I remember the first home I bought her, the home she saw. She didn't know I had planned to get that home. I purchased the home and I said, Mom, I think I know the people who live there. Yep. I said, yes, ma'am. So I'll stop in and say hello. I drove in, I opened the door. She got out of mom at that time, around 76. She held my arm, walking toward the house. We got to the door. And I couldn't hold it anymore. I reached my pocket, took the key out, and I put it in the door. This is your home. Mama, I bought this for you. I pushed the door open. She stuck her head in the door. She said, anybody home? I said, no, Mama. Nobody's here. This is yours. If you want to make bad enough to go out and fight for it, your work day and night for it, give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. All that you dream and scheme is about it. Life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, the help of God. If you don't develop the courage to do that which has been given you to do, and you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people, trying to get their approval, what will happen is that you will lose your nerve, and other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value, and you'll give up on your dream. We go through life trying to seek security and not coming outside of our comfort zone, and we take most of our stuff with us in the grave. And life is a hidden day, and you're gone today. And I'm saying that the fact that you're still here, that you're still breathing, that's all work. And you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. So when you get up in the morning, that you can look yourself in the face and say, hey, I'm living my life on my terms. See, if you don't decide to act on your dream, if you don't decide to make a decision to live your life, if you don't decide to step into your fears, if you don't decide to say yes to your life, that's worth it. Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We spread ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no, and we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second. We can't stop it all the time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills. Ask me the question, how much time do you have left? How much time do you have left? Decide that you're going to take some time to work on you, that you deserve that from yourself, that your life deserves. It's very important. You owe that to yourself. One idea can change your life. One idea can turn your life around. compromise. And as you convince you, as you sell yourself every day, something happens for you. It will enable you to transcend yourself, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do it with everything that you have. Develop the habit of giving more than what you're paid for. If there's something that you want and you're hungry for, you've got to do whatever is necessary until. And when you give the best you can, if that's not enough, you must do what is required. When you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You don't care about the odds. When you step into your fields and continue to push yourself, go on, you begin to see things that have been sitting there looking you in the face and I can't believe this has been here all this time. And that's why I say this reason that you receive by actually stronger, becoming a stronger version of yourself through the challenges, through the resistance, and because and don't give up on yourself. Don't throw a towel in so quickly. Many people give up on the 1-yard line. I want you to get to a place in your life that will stay fit, every setback, like every obstacle that you're going to overcome, every barrier that you can't climb. I don't want you to give up. I want you to fail forward. Every mistake you make has to be another stepping stone, another building block. And you got to learn how to tune out the critics outside and the critic inside. It says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to harness my will. And I'm not going to let anything stop. I deserve this. See, the last chapter to your life has not been written yet. It doesn't matter about what happened yesterday. We don't give up. We don't surrender. We don't quit. Different. Our perspective is different. Because our perspective is different. Our outcomes are different. Our rewards are different.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Plan Your Trade Your Plan Daily Technical Forex Analysis for the 4th of April 2019. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes, please. If you can hear me clearly, let me have your yes, please, so that we can start off. Good morning, all. Thank you all for coming. Good morning. If you can hear me clearly, let me have your yes before I comment, please. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes. You could type in your yes in the chat box. Okay. So today being the 4th of April 2019, being a Thursday, we do not have so much fundamental news release for today. We do not have so much fundamental news release for today. So that aside, I hope you all have gone through this. It's a disclaimer. You should know what you're getting into. This is my Telegram handle and this is my Twitter handle. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach across to me through any of these means. That aside, now we go over to our charts. As always, we start with our dollar index. And like I've said, the dollar index is about to start playing out the right shoulder. So which means we might see a bit of a correction in the dollar index in few days to come. Mind you, the pair is still ranging. It is not trending in one direction. As you can see, price is in between the moving averages on the daily, signaling a range kind of movement. So knowing that, we drop down to our lower time frame chart. Dropping down to our lower time frame chart, like I said yesterday, this is a level of support for the dollar index. And as you can see, the dollar index is finding a bit of support in here. So what might we likely see? We might likely see a scenario where price may rally up into this area before dropping. As you can see, there's a little bit of, this is our 4-hour head and shoulder forming. The right shoulder might play out, or price may drop below hard. So should price drop below comment, let me get rid of this. So should price drop below here, wait for a retest into this level, and if you get a rejection, then price may go lower. So that is it for the dollar index. The next pair we'll be looking at is gold. And we'll be looking at gold from a daily point of view. Looking at gold from a daily point of view, as we can see, yes, the day closed as a little bearish candle, but this bullish reversal is still in play here. As long as this low of this candle is not taken out, there exists a potential that you may see a bit of rally on gold. So we drop down to a lower time frame. So if gold starts to move, as you can see, levels that I marked out yesterday seems to have held. So where might we likely see gold head to? Gold might first likely get to this area first. And if this area serves as resistance, you may see gold drop. But should it break above this area, wait for a retest, and if it finds support here, it may move higher. So that is it for gold for today. And we should bear in mind that tomorrow there will be, tomorrow has the non-farm payroll for the US and Canadian economy, and also the unemployment rate change for the US and the Canadian economy. Most times, the days before this, the market can decide to pull some fast moves, or they might just necessarily decide not to make any move at all. They might just decide to range as the investors decide on which side to move the market to. So the next we'll be looking at is the USDCHF from a daily point of view. As you can see, the USDCHF is still below this resistance area that we talked about, which is between 1.0012 to 1.9992. So as long as price stays below this level, there exists the potential that price may still drop lower. So I go down to my 4-hour chart. If I go down to my 4-hour chart, as we can see, price seems to be in a sort of a channel. Go over to our 4-hour chart. Price seems to be in a sort of a channel, as you can see. As you can see, so there is a potential. As you can see, price is finding support above this area. So once price comes back below here, the price may drop down to first 94.40, and if it breaks this trend line here, price may drop lower. So that is it for the USDCHF. Next we'll be looking at is the EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD, yesterday's candle closed as a bullish engulfing, took out the range of three candles, 1, 2, 3. And you can see this is a morning star formation. This is a bullish formation after a double bottom of 61.8 fib level. So we go down into our lower time frame chart. As for now, you can see this was what I dropped for on, I think it was on Tuesday. Let me get rid of this. So this is the storyline now. Price is reacting to this resistance between 1.1249 and 1.1261. So as price can break it, there exists a potential that price may drop a bit. And if price drops a bit, if you observe clearly, you'll find out that it will then play an inverse head and shoulder formation. As you can see, this is the left, this is the head. So if it drops in here, it might play the right before moving higher. And should that happen, a move above 1261 may take price higher. So that is the game plan for today. So you might just watch for a bit of a drop or a break above this resistance zone here. And that resistance zone is between 1.1261 and 1.1249. The next pair I'll be looking at is the GBPUSD. Looking at the GBPUSD from a daily point of view, if you look at this pair, it is not basically trending per se. Price is in a rising channel, but it is sort of ranging. As you can see, price. Yesterday, price closed bullish, but with a long upper wick. So knowing that, we go down to our intraday chart. The chart for the GBPUSD hasn't been so interesting of recent. So I think this resistance needs to be shifted, as this is the area price seems to be paying attention to for now. So now we have this. Like I said yesterday, price may break above here, you can see the retest. So now there is a bit, price has this resistance at 1.3196 and this falling channel here. So above this area will be clearly bullish. But as long as price stays here, then we may see a bit of a drop. But once you get a close below 3127, then you know that price is coming back down to 3032. So for now, just know that price is in a bit of a range and know where your range top is and where your range bottom is. The next pair I'll be looking at is the EURGBP. I'm looking at the EURGBP from a daily point of view. Nothing so impressive on this pair for now. Nothing that impressive. You can see price just seems to be caught in a bit of a range. But it is currently at a support area. So if we go down to our lower time frame chart, you can see price broke this trend line, tested it twice yesterday. But now this support here, price dropped into it and bounced up. So we may see a bit of a drop back into this support area at 85.10. We may see a bit of drop back into this support area. As you can see, price is already dropping. So knowing where the range bottom is and the range top is will do you a lot of good and save you from a lot of unnecessary stress. As you can see, for now, the range top is at this point, that's 85.47, while the range bottom seems to be at this area. Seems to be between, I deleted it. While the range bottom seems to be at 85.03, which is a psychological level. So as long as price stays above here, there exists a potential that price may move back up towards either of these levels. Let me mark them out. Towards either this level, change it to red, or this level. So either of these levels, price may try to rally back into any of them. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPCHF. Looking at the GBPCHF from a daily point of view, price may move higher. As we can see, this morning star formation is still in play. How high will price go? I cannot see. But as you can see, there's a double bottom of this support trend line. So price may rally a bit today. So knowing that, we go down to a lower time frame chart. Go down to a lower time frame chart, like I said yesterday, price respected this support area. broke above it but came back above. So now price is in a very large resistance area here. So in this point, you just need to be a bit careful, pretty careful with price in this area. So the area is between 1.3151 and 1.3207. So you just need to watch out for what price might do in this area. And if you notice, yesterday's candle has a long upper wick, which shows a bit of rejection, buyer's rejection at that point. So if you're taking a long position in this area, you need to be very careful. Next pair we'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. Looking at the AUDUSD, this pair is just comfortably ranging. Comfortably, but there's something of importance I noticed yesterday. This support created a, do we see this? This is a tweezer button. That is reason for concern. Pretty much reason for concern, because whenever you see this, what it means is that price might be moving higher. But this is a sideways market, so I can't say for now. Maybe we might just have a set of range between those areas, but for now, I cannot clearly see. But as you can see, price is in a downward sloping channel. So we just need to watch out. For now, our first level of resistance on this pair comes in at this point. That is 0.7131. That's our first level of resistance. If price clears that level and this falling trend line, then price may get to 0.7167. That aside, the next pair we'll be looking at is the USDJPY. Looking at the USDJPY from a daily point of view, price is at this low falling trend line. Yesterday's candle closed a bit bullish, but with a small body. So knowing that, we drop down to our lower time frame chart. As we can see on our lower time frame chart, there's a sort of a range movement here. Price is finding support in this area. Let me use horizontal line to mark it so that we have an idea of where the level is. So price is finding support at 11126 and 11116. So you can see price is now battling at this trend line. We may see a bit of a drop. But just know where your levels of support on this pair is and where your level of resistance is on this pair. Where your level of resistance is on this pair. So that aside, the next pair we'll be looking at is the Euro Yen. And if we look at the Euro Yen from a daily point of view, we see yesterday's candle closed pretty bullish, as you can see. But it has a moving average giving it a bit of a challenge, and that is the daily 50 moving average that is here. That moving average is at this point here. That is at 125.44. As you can see, price is dropping a bit. So for this pair, we have a bit of, we might see a bit of an upside move, as you can see. This is support area here. Let me change this color to blue. 125.01. 125.01. This is an area of support. As you can see, price broke above this area, above this trend line here. Price may come back to retest it before moving higher. So that is it for the EURGBP. The next pair we'll be looking at is the pound yen. The last pair was Euro yen. The next pair is Euro pound yen. So as you can see, the pound yen closed bullish yesterday above this resistance zone between 146.06 to 146.51. So, but it has this long upper wick, which is not so good for a bullish drive continuation. So how do we interpret that? We drop down to our lower time frame chart, and as you can see, this is the resistance zone up here. This is the resistance zone up here. This is the support zone. So the resistance is between 147.02 and 147.32. while the support is between 146.50 and 146.25. So for now, this is the game plan. So if price comes into this area, if it doesn't break above, just watch for bearish evidence to sell it down to this area. But for now, given the close of yesterday, just might be a little bit tilted to the upside, given that this trend line here has been broken to the upside. So we might see a bit, if price drops to retest it, I don't know and I can't say, but we might see a bit of a drop and a push higher. The next pair we're looking at is the EURAUD. I'm looking at the EURAUD from a daily point of view. Yesterday's candle closed a bit bearish, can see, but still above our support at 1.5786. So what do we do with this? We drop down to our intraday chart. As you can see, price is in this support box here. So as long as this low here, still holds, deleted this. As long as this low here, 1.5715 holds, you may see a bit of an upward move on this pair. So the best thing is you wait and see how price reacts at this trend line. So a break above this trend line may send price higher. So for now, price is in a support area. Next we'll be looking at is the GBPAUD. Looking at the GBPAUD yesterday, the same thing, price closed a bit of bearish, almost looking like an inside candle, but the range is outside the high of the preceding candle. So drop down to our intraday chart on the 4-hour. We can see that this trend line is being respected. And since this trend line is being respected, there is a potential that price may rally up into this area. That's from 185.73 to this high at 1.8613. A move above this area, let me use a box to highlight it. Move above this area, let's see price move higher. The next pair we'll be looking at is USDCAD. Looking at the USDCAD from a daily point of view, it's more like ranging. This pair doesn't seem to have a particular movement. It's more like ranging. So there exists a potential that price, it's more like ranging as you can see. It's just ranging. So we'll go down to the 4-hour chart. If you look at the 4-hour chart, there's something appearing here. You can see price seems to have carved out the double bottom. So there exists a potential that price may shoot up, as you can see. There is already double bottom. A move above 3375 may see price move higher. That's this neckline here. A move above it may see price move higher. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPCAD. Looking at the GBPCAD, price seems to be in a kind of range. This red can bearish candle seems to have price within his range, except for this day when price broke the low. But for now, price is still within the range of this candle. So knowing that, we drop down to our 1-hour chart, our intraday chart. Looking at our intraday chart, our first level of resistance comes in at 1.7633. A move above here will see price higher. But should price get rejected from there, then this previous resistance here, this previous resistance between 1.7550 and 1.7519 may act as support. And the next level of support comes in at 1.7458. So that is it for this pair for today. So I thank you all for coming and wish you all a beautiful trading day ahead. Thank you.